Right here at Lee Controls, we offer a wide variety of linear bearings to use in your linear applications. We have Teflon bearings, recirculating ball bearings, roller bearings, and all these bearings have their own little niche that they fit into. Some bearings are good in some applications, some are better in the same application. The thing is to know the difference of the bearing you're going to use. Right here I have a Teflon bearing. As you can see, it's often called a plain bearing. It's smooth on the inside. It's got a Teflon lining to it. Very good for high contaminant environments, wash down environments, things like that. The downside is it's got a very high coefficient of friction. So high sometimes they can become very hard to push along. The next type of bearing would be a recirculating ball bearing. In this bearing there is recirculating balls in tracks in here, and they rotate around, giving this ball very free movement. This is a typical bearing used throughout the world and probably the most popular bearing there is today. This bearing also does have its good points and its bad points. Some of the bad points is that a slight bit of contamination will kill this bearing. Good points is it's self-aligning. If you have two shafts out of parallel, this bearing can compensate up to a ½ degree in misalignment. But again, you run into the problem where if you're dealing with contaminants, it has recirculating ball tracks, and if you get anything in there, they lock up. Ball track locks up, it takes your shaft out by grooving the shaft, and also will ruin the bearing by ruining the balls in the bearing. In 1987, we came out with a patented bearing here called the roller bearing pillow block. This bearing here has very good misalignment tendencies. It'll outdo the recirculating ball bearing in misalignment. It can handle a much higher degree. It can handle higher contaminants. Being it's made with rollers, the seals are up on the sides of the rollers, never in contact with the shaft, which is what you have to deal with these other two bearings, shaft to bearing seal contact. With this, we don't worry about that. The other benefit is with this bearing is each one of these rollers can be taken out and replaced. So should you wear out a roller, you can take the bearing off your housing or off your assembly, change the roller, put it back on, and have the bearing up and running again for a fraction of the cost of buying a new bearing.